Hi, this is Gene Acasella from Port St. John, Florida, and you're listening to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central Show, where we only talk about the most important barbecue and grilling items of the day. If you missed the first hour, shame on you. Where were you? That's all right. We were recording, believe it or not. So you will get hour number one in podcast fashion audibly tomorrow. You will get hour number two of this show, which is taking place right this very instant on Thursday.
Hit me!
Remember, if you are a video watcher of the show, you can watch it immediately
Boing.
after the show ends. Auto archives on Facebook and YouTube. And, by the way, we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of the video streaming platforms. You go to the aforementioned facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can also watch on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. Sam just told me there's a story to the issue that he has. Oh, I don't like stories. So to come on this show tonight, a Sam the Cooking Guy in about 12 minutes from now, and we will close the show tonight with the Senior Vice President of Sales Marketing over at Micallef Cigars, Amanda Micallef. We have a YouTube poll question of the week, a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Would you rather spend the night in a dumpster or a night in a porta potty? And currently 71% of you now are saying you would rather spend that night in the porta potty. I agree. Wait, you're saying you would rather spend it in the dumpster. I'm reading it right here. And I'm in my mind is just saying something else. I see it with my eyes. My mind is just puking out something that is completely contradictory to what I say. 71% of you say you would rather sleep in the dumpster, and I'm with you. I would much rather sleep in a dumpster than in a porta potty, especially if both of them are packed full. If you know what I mean, packed full. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, episode 423, taking you back to March 22nd of 2011. And this week, we feature a gentleman by the name of Tim Bryan from a company called Green Leaf Barbecue. Now, longtime fans of the show might recognize the name Tim Bryan, especially the name Green Leaf Barbecue. Tim was a longtime giveaway sponsor of the show. In the very beginnings of the show and for years of the show, especially when the show was only an hour, the last segment of the show was called the fourth segment free-for-all, and I just put it out through the internet airwaves. If you're a barbecue and grilling company that would like to give away rubs or sauce or whatever the hell you want to give away, send me in an email. Let me know what you would like to give away. It could just be for one night only. It could be an ongoing thing. And Tim was very generous with his giving away. I believe we had a standing agreement where if I didn't have anything else to give away that week, that Tim would be the backup giveaway no matter what. We did it for years and years. Tim was the giveaway was this wine-soaked wood chunks. He had found a niche. He was out west, east of San Francisco, I believe. And he had a banker come in one time and pitch him on this idea. And Tim was like, hey, we could probably do a couple things in process here, and we could turn these things into something barbecuers might want to try out for a different kind of wood smoke. And so part of that was being a giveaway sponsor on the show, giving away his wine-soaked wood chunks. And within the minutes of this segment, you will learn how Tim got into the business, how he originally marketed it, how he was trying to leverage barbecue bloggers of the day to promote his product and grow his business. And outside the chunks that he was selling, he also owned a barbecue supply shop, again, east of San Francisco. Are they still in business? I don't know. John, do you know they're still in business? I know you don't because you asked that at the very end. I listen. Does anybody know if Tim Bryant and Greenleaf Barbecue are still in business? Also, have you ever used wine-soaked wood chunks? And Tim's product, not necessarily one that is exclusive rights, if you will. I've actually gotten 4 or 5 different wine-soaked wood chunks of some form or fashion. Oh, here's some wine-soaked wine staves. Some of them look like they were like rectangular squares cut on a chop saw, very nicely done. Other ones were a little bit more rustic. But Tim was one of the first, to say the least. So I'm asking you, ever used wine-soaked wood chunks in your cooking? And if you have, what were your results? John also wanted to know what your results were if you've smoked with wine-soaked wood chunks. Also, you can subscribe to the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less by visiting this website, thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. Also, if you want to hear a guest or a segment that you feel has been lost in the archives, you can email John, let him know what you would like to hear. And his email address is John, Jon, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com. Matt R. is writing in. Hey, Greg, hope you're doing well. You mentioned a few times on the show about your tactical flashlight and knife. What model do you have for both? Well, Matt, that's a great question. Let me see if I can pull up the monitor, and we'll go to Amazon.com. This is for the tactical flashlight. Here we go, official site of Amazon. And I think we want to type in M5 tactical flashlight. So here we go. Here it is right here, everybody. This is the M5 tactical flashlight. This is the one that I carry, everyday carry for me. We can make that just a little bit bigger there. What kind of videos? It shows a truck rolling over it. You see this picture here? You might think this is a little over the top, a little enhanced. I'm here to tell you that is 100% correct. This size flashlight puts out 2,030 lumens. It's a monster. If you are in the market for a tactical flashlight, and you should be, because much like carrying a pocket knife, you don't realize how much you will actually use this flashlight. By the way, there is a strobing feature, as I've showed before, where if you hold down, you can see this little button right here. If you're watching here on Facebook or YouTube, if you hold that down, that will, for like 2 or 3 seconds, that'll put it in strobe mode. And if you are on the highest light setting and you are in strobe mode, you are going to become disoriented very quickly. Also, it's got a really cool charger that is magnetic, so you can USB. So you go ahead and plug it one side into the USB for power, and then the other side. So it would be on the opposite side of where this push button is. It's got a magnetic charging port. You just stick it right on there, and it takes no time to charge. I don't know if I charge it maybe once a quarter, so I'm not using it for long intervals at a time. It's got the very nice pocket clip right there. So the M5 M5 Gen 3 2030 lumens, non-aggressive knurling compact for pocket carry and low battery consumption. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I apologize for what the knife is. I can tell you this. It is a Gerber brand knife. And I'm wondering if I didn't send Matt R. an email back. Oh, let's see. Yes. It's a Gerber assisted. Well, as luck would have it, this is the one right here. The Gerber 06 Fast. I will tell you, hard to tell how big this knife is in person, or like right here on this, unless there's probably specs on it. So it's 8.6 inches in overall length. So it's a pretty big knife. I've had smaller knives. The one that I had before I lost my other Gerber knife, and I believe that one was even $25 more expensive. But that 06 Fast, it's an assisted open. I love it. I use it all the time. As I've said many times before, you don't realize how much you will use a pocket knife until you start carrying a pocket knife. Also, you won't realize how much of a hand having a tactical flashlight comes in. Carry them in the same pocket. Doesn't look overloaded, doesn't look weird, nothing like that. Don't worry about it. Am I caught up here? No, I don't think so. Let me talk to you about Micallef cigars. You're going to hear Amanda Micallef next segment. Are you ready for a cigar experience built on history and passion? Let me tell you about Micallef Cigars, a partnership forged between Texas passion and a Cuban cigar-making dynasty whose heritage spans back to the 1930s. Whether you seek the nuanced elegance of a Migdalia or the complex power of the Leyenda, Micallef offers a symphony of flavors for every palate. And don't forget their ever-expanding color series, an unmatched smoking experience coupled with unmatched value. Each cigar handcrafted in Esteli, Nicaragua by the legendary Gomez Sanchez family. Micallef delivers tradition and quality in every draw. Taste and tradition. Visit MicallefCigars.com to find a retailer nearest you. And that is Micallef, spelled Micallef, MicallefCigars.com. And we might have a brand new color to announce in about 30 minutes time or less. But before we get to Amanda Micallef, we will talk to a Sam the Cooking Guy. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. It is that time of the month where we welcome in our favorite YouTube cooking personality. He is a cookbook author, multiple times. A TV show host, multiple times. He's also a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer one time, and that's all you can really do it. Our pal, Sam the Cooking Guy. All right, Sam, we have a new Would you rather YouTube poll question of the week? And we're asking everybody, including all guests. Sam, would you rather spend the night in a dumpster or in a porta potty?
A dumpster.
71% of the YouTube voting public is also saying that they would rather spend the night in a dumpster. I also agree with you and 71% of the YouTube voting public. As I told Mike Lang and Malcolm Reed earlier, at worst, and I'm going off the assumption we're going in fully loaded dumpsters and fully loaded porta potties to choose from, I feel like I could find a less repugnant spot in a dumpster. I mean, if you're in a porta potty and it's bad, there's no hiding there. I mean, you are all in it.
Listen, I think we can make a simple generalization. There's probably no shit in a dumpster.
I don't know. I mean, if you're buying an apartment building and you have little kids that have diapers, I mean, there's going to be shit in a dumpster. Maybe not out in the open.
But they're wrapped, percentage-wise. Probably not shit.
Sam, can you connect your microphone?
Am I not? Oh boy!
Is there no microphone tonight? What happened?
No. I can't. I don't have a microphone.
Oh no!
It's a story, but it's just a story for you.
All right. Oh, like you can't say it on the air?
No.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. I don't want to.
Oh. All right. Is that why you were calling me in the middle of the show?
Yeah.
Did you think I was going to pick up?
I wasn't thinking. I was just panicking. I came to the realization that there wasn't going to be a microphone, and I didn't know if you, as the great, all-knowing, all-seeing Greg Rempe, would go, "Oh, that's happened 1,000 times. Just do this. Get an empty San Marzano tomato can
with string,
and hook this wire to this." And no, there would not string. Of course, that's not going to work.
Yes. Wow.
So I apologize for how I sound.
Well, I can't wait to hear the story about this.
I'm the first person to call you up after, your Tuesday nights and go, "What the fuck was the sound with so-and-so?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Well, there was this problem." And so whoever calls up tomorrow, there's a problem, but I will only tell you.
All right.
And doesn't that make you feel good?
It does. I'm glad you care.
You're an exclusive club.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I made the announcement last week within. Jeez, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, sorry. I made the announcement last week in advance of the monthly embedded correspondence segment that Tennessee embedded, or should I say, current former embedded Tennessee correspondent. Matt Osman has been banned from the show until he pays off his debt. Now, since this does affect you as well, I don't want to just gloss over it and not at least give you an opportunity to say something one way or the other, or if you would rather pass on it altogether, say pass, and I have plenty of other things to talk about.
No, I thought about this, and I thought not saying something would be easy. And sure, I think arguably some might say it's more gentlemanly. Just let it go. And I'm not going to shit on Matt. Other to say, whether it's Matt or my kids, my words are always the same. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. It doesn't matter how distasteful it might end up being. You have to be a man of your words. What do we have if not what we say?
Nothing.
If we don't have our words, if you can't count on another guy, and I say guy because the expression of man of your words, I think everybody should be like that. But really, in this case, it's man to man. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. And honestly, and we've talked about this, if Matt had called up and said, "Look, I in the heat of the moment, I made this statement, and now I'm finding it hard to back up with dollars," I would have said, you know what? As long as you're making an effort, in my eyes, you're 100% golden.
Yeah.
Look, I chose early on, like from the onset, not to take the money. I didn't want his money, but he wanted to give it. So we said, let's donate it to charity. And many of us on this show have been affected by cancer.
Yeah, sure.
So let's take the money and we'll put it towards cancer. If Matt had said, it's problematic right now, I can do, dude, if he'd said I could do $1 a month, I would have said, that's moving towards the goal, brother.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
What if he would have said, what if he would have said, hey, I got caught up in the heat of the embedded correspondent.
Yeah.
Upon further review, I've made a terrible bet.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because it was stupid, I'm just not going to pay off. And I just want you to know that I got caught up in a moment and hopefully you can understand, but I'm not paying off.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing.
Yeah?
You're paying off.
Oh.
Or there needs to be some consequences.
Yeah, all right.
I tell my kids that. And how old is Matt? I'm probably old enough to be his father.
I can't be that far off either. I mean, he's got little kids, right. So I assume he's probably somewhere, let's say, mid-30s to late 30s.
So should somebody in their mid-30s need to be told that? No. But there wasn't that. There was just, I'm not going to pay it. So I'm sorry.
There wasn't even that.
There wasn't even that. Yeah. Okay. So
it was just nobody ever said anything. So
right.
Here's what I know. If the Barbecue Central show was called the Gambino Crime Family Central Show, Matt would be dead. Months ago, Matt would have been dead. Matt would have been dead.
Listen, Matt wrote and said, hey, can we give me a call? Here's me, give me a call. I'd like to talk about this. And my first thought was, why am I making the phone call? I didn't do anything. I didn't make the statement. The thing to do as a man would have been, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this. When's a good time? Let me call you.
Yeah.
And I said, let's talk about it on the show. I mean, that's where it started.
Right.
Let's give it to Greg. Let's talk about it on the show. And he said, okay, just so you know, those are your words, which to me it sounded like some weird Gambino family threat. Those are you. Okay. You've said that now. Just you wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I don't think he meant it like that, obviously. And I don't actually even know what he meant, but just step up, buck a month, bro. We can all have $1 a month come out of our pocket and go towards something. Okay, what else?
That's it. All right. I talked to Malcolm Reed last hour, I should say, and the subject of
I'd like
YouTube.
To meet him sometime.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd like to meet him sometime.
All right, hold on.
I like him.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Who would you rather meet more in person, Malcolm Reed or me?
Oh fuck! Come on. You, of course.
God, it's taking so long.
What I didn't take that long.
I thought you were going to be like, how could I choose?
No, of course.
All right.
I've known you way longer. Yes. We've never met.
Right. Yes. So we were talking about YouTube. So I said, hey, here's an interesting thing. Sam and you are getting, like, you're ever so close. If you just high level look at numbers of crossing whatever the next million is. So Malcolm will be crossing over the 2 million subscriber marks, which is huge.
Yeah.
And you would be you would be crossing into the 4 million subscriber mark.
Yeah.
Now, just for a point of reference, last month, your number track was 3.86 million YouTube subscribers. And as of 3/1/2026, 3.86 million YouTube subscribers. So I'm not saying you weren't gaining anything over the month, but it didn't change the first three numbers that I'm usually reading out. Are you concerned?
They don't.
Go ahead.
No. Am I concerned? No, because the YouTuber people that I talk to, we all say kind of the same thing. You hit a point and you sort of plateau, and then getting over that hump is difficult.
Yeah.
What, I'm going to look up a guy. Hold on. I just met him the other day.
Is his name Guga?
He's not Guga.
Is it?
No.
FPS Russia.
The hell is that?
Damn. It used to be one of my favorite YouTubers, then he got banned.
No. What did he get banned for?
Too many guns, I guess.
Oh, God.
Guns bad.
Sam Chewy, hold on. Sam Chewy, let me see what Sam's got. Hold on, Sam Chewy. Sam Chewy.
Sam Chewy.
He's an airline guy. He does fancy flights. He's a
passenger airline guy, or is he a pilot?
Yeah. Here. Yeah. 42 million views 8 years ago. The complete Emirates A380 first class.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, he does that kind of stuff. You know, I flew on the new this to, yeah. Would you say?
Stupid.
Well, it's stupid if you don't like it.
I love planes.
I watch that. I love watching that stuff.
You do?
I love watching that stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. Love it. Anyway, we were both at an event together. And we had a chance. We had a chance to chat.
Yeah.
We were both at Korean Airlines, redid their corporate identity last year, and they're redoing all their first class lounges. So they had a private event at their brand new first class lounge in Los Angeles Thursday. There were 14 people. Wow. Friday, they had like a big influencer event with a lot of people, but the night before, there was 14 of us. Sam Chewy was there. I was there. CEO of Korea, just a small handful of people. Anyway, we talked after, and he said, so how do you feel? Basically asking me about the same thing. How do you feel about that? And I said, I feel like, we might have all had a big growth spurt during COVID. Everybody had a big growth spurt during COVID because nobody was doing anything but watching YouTube. But then you hit that place, and do I think I'll hit? He wanted to know, do I think I'll hit 4 million? Like I asked him, will he hit? And I said, I think so. But that last mile is very difficult.
Do you think you're going to hit 4
what does Malcolm
million?
say? This year, you want to bet me $2,000?
I'm not going to bet any money. I was just going to say, do you think you're going to get to 4 million this year?
I think it's questionable.
I do too. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Don't hate to say it. It's reality.
Well, I want to be able to say, hey, I know a guy who has 4 million YouTube subscribers. Like that means a lot in my life.
You know a guy that has 3.86 million subscribers on YouTube. That's more than a lot of cities.
I know, but 4 million is a whole different stratosphere.
Certainly more than Cleveland, huh?
No. Said 4 million is a whole different stratosphere. 3.86 million is one. 4 million is more.
Come on.
Yeah. And I could say I know a guy like that. It really increases my status in life.
So you don't say you know me?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Come on, piece of shit. Now I want to meet Malcolm before I meet you.
What do you mean?
That's what I want.
I'm saying this would be great for me to have you at 4 million. It would be better for me too.
I wonder if there's crossover between Malcolm's channel and mine.
Of course.
Don't say of course.
How could there not be? You do a live fire cooking show. Hello.
Some of the time.
Most of the time.
Not most of the time.
Yes. Most of the time.
Don't say that.
We're like girls.
Ask your audience. I don't know. I mean, look, what's today's, I don't know what we're even doing anymore. I did a Peking duck. It hasn't aired yet. Is Malcolm doing Peking duck?
No.
Is Malcolm doing 5 things to do with leftover pizza?
No, but I'm going to ask you about that here in just 1 second before our segment time is up. Where I think there is crossover is you do use a number of different live fire implements. And if you watch a Malcolm video, I would have to imagine that one of the 6 recommended for you to watch next is going to be a Sam the Cooking Guy grilling video at some point. And then they're going to watch it and you're like, oh, this guy grills too. Subscribe. And now you have crossover.
But what Malcolm does, Malcolm gets way deeper into the details,
of course,
than I do.
Yes, but
way deeper.
But you're across the board cooking.
We just did something that will air next week for a sponsor. 3 different weird cuts of meat. You ever heard of Terrace Major?
Yes, of course.
Terrace Major?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, Merlot steak?
Yes.
Merlot steak?
You realize what show we're on, right?
Sack of shit. What a lying piece of crap. Anyway, the regular people that watch us don't know that.
Yeah.
So I use the charcoal. I use my old school $120 Weber for the pig shanks, pig wings,
Pig wings, yeah. Love pig wings.
Yeah. But Malcolm would have done a whole lot more explaining about getting the chimney ready and the way he spreads out the coals and the system he uses and how long they're going to be on. And for me, that was like of the segment that might have been 10 minutes, the whole charcoal part might have been 2. In Malcolm's case, it might have been 8. So I think, so the question is, does his audience that loves that detail want less detail and more nonsense, more fluff about, not fluff, but more the other stuff, what the dish can become, that kind of stuff, other things you can do with it.
Yes.
And does my audience want the increased detail? Maybe we should do something together one day. I'm probably going to meet Malcolm before I meet you. That's how this is going to be.
How dare you? Or should I say?
I'm just being realistic.
How dare you?
You don't leave your little burg of Cleveland, so...
You mean? I've been international multiple times.
To the same spot.
Why do you got to shit on my life?
I'm not shitting on your life.
Last time you shit on my mom's egg sandwich. This time you're shitting on my travel.
Wait, what did I shit on last time?
My mom's egg sandwich. Remember my parents?
I do remember.
The egg sandwich?
Yes. Yeah.
These people. My mom and dad, right here. My mom and dad.
I always tell you, you have handsome parents.
They are handsome.
It's one of the greatest pictures ever. Look what I have.
That's a big
2 pounds.
That's a big panko.
Of panko.
Wow, what are you doing with that?
Sorry, I got a kilogram. I think it's a kilogram.
You're gonna cover a cold piece of pizza in that and deep fry it.
This is 35 ounces.
Wow,
I got 2 pounds of panko, but good panko.
Asian
I don't
market.
know if you can see how rough it is. Can you see that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a lot like this happens to come from, I don't know, Indonesia or something, but it's a lot like Japanese panko that they would use bread, pork, and tonkatsu, that kind of stuff with. It doesn't matter.
Sam, quickly, because Amanda Micallef is backing you up and coming out of the bullpen tonight. What are we making for dinner tomorrow night?
I'll show you right now. It's my Amazon box. It just came. Ready?
If you had a pocket knife, it would be better, but all right.
Have you got... there you go. You ready? Here's what you're having.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Try it again.
Mr. Micallef's coming in. Okay. Jesus. Ready, and you're having Heinz beans on toast with a fried egg, sunny side up, and some grated shred over the top, grated cheddar over the top.
You ordered that on purpose?
Because you can't buy these. This.
Sorry.
First time behind the desk. This is a British staple. This is from my homeland of Canada and the Brits. This is beans. You know beans on toast?
Yes. It's
a thing, but this is the thing it's with.
Heinz.
Not like baked beans.
Not Bush's baked beans. Those Heinz baked beans.
This is the rich tomato sauce. What do they call it?
I think that's what they also call bangers and mash. That's what you make with bangers and mash.
Not necessarily, but you can. But these are the beans you have.
Oh.
Well, I can't buy these at any of my supermarkets. So.
Of course, you got to go on Amazon, and they got to be flown in from somewhere else.
Here's my Amazon order.
Wow.
If anybody wonders what Sam the Cooking Guy's getting, it's this kind of nonsense.
8 pounds of panko and 12 ounces of beans.
2 pounds.
Wow.
And 4 cans of Heinz baked beans and rich tomato sauce.
All right. Sam,
That's what you have for dinner.
You are the best, and I appreciate you coming on every month. And if you can believe it or not, I will see you again in April already of 2026. How about that?
You will. Hey, but let me just say this before you hang up. Yeah. Hey, Malcolm, give me a call. Yeah. Let's get together, buddy.
That's
we
right.
We can do some great stuff.
All right.
I'll even come to you.
Thank you, Sam. Sam, the cooking guy right there. He better not. I don't think Malcolm is watching live, and I'm going to go in and edit that out in the post. I think Malcolm is an audio listener. So I'm going to, no offense, Sam, but I'm going to take that part out right at the end. You come to Cleveland. If you're going to Hernando, Mississippi, you fly right over Cleveland, Ohio. You can stop in and we'll go down together. We'll do a 3-person collab. Is that what they call it? All right, Amanda Micallef is up next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Sam, the cooking guy, for joining us last segment. TheCookingGuy.com is his website, and that website will take you wherever else you want to go in the Sam, the Cooking Guy ecosystem. Coming out of the bullpen tonight is the Vice President of Marketing, my favorite cigar brand, Micallef Cigars, here to talk about their latest release and what else they might have coming down the pike in calendar year 2026, or at least the first half. We race to the hotline and welcome back our friend Amanda Micallef to the show. Hey, Amanda.
Hi, how are you? Good evening.
I am well. Glad to have you back here on the show. Before we get going and get into some cigar talk, we have a Would You Rather YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Mm-hmm. So, Amanda, would you rather spend the night in a dumpster or in a porta potty?
Oh, man, a dumpster.
A dumpster. 67% of the YouTube voting public, down from 71% a segment ago, are also saying that they would rather stay in a dumpster. I'm with you, saying the cooking guy. Actually, all guests as well were choosing a dumpster. So I agree. I mean, you get into a bad porta potty and there's nowhere to run from it. I feel like the dumpster affords you some space to potentially run away from some bad areas and stretch out a little bit, as Mike Lang said. So in all events, probably more comfortable. All right, so before we talk about the new release this evening, let's check in on the past new release that we talked about when you were on towards the end of last September, which is Micallef Green. How is it being received by the consumer?
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. To be perfectly frank, better than expected. We, I might have mentioned when I was on last, we made that cigar. It has a Matafina wrapper because we had some diehard ambassadors that love Matafina, and we had retired a previous Matafina blend. So it was, we thought we were kind of appeasing a loud minority, but wasn't really sure if it was going to be a big hit. It has been really well received, and we've been racing to make sure we keep up with demand ever since, which is a good problem to have, but an unexpected problem.
So when you're slotting the green in production, were you on purpose going for less volume because of this appeasing of a vocal minority?
Yes.
Wow.
Like I said, it was our ambassadors. Our ambassadors are super important to us. And we certainly knew that there was a market for the Matafina, but we didn't expect it to be as big as it was for us. But and I'll be honest, I was surprised by the cigar. Matafina is not my favorite wrapper, but I really, really like this cigar. I think they just nailed something that it appeals to the Matafina smoker, but it also appeals to a lot of other smokers as well. So it's been a surprise a little bit in how well, we knew it was a good cigar, but it's definitely been a surprise in how well it's been received, or how broadly, I should say, it's been received.
So until you mentioned either the one word or two words, Matafina, had no idea that was a wrapper in existence. Didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anybody that carried it. So
right. So it's not a super prevalent wrapper. there have been different times where it's been more popular than others. It's actually a Brazilian varietal. And it has a little bit of an herbaceous kind of taste to it, and it does. I mean, it brings in some different flavors, but like I said, it snuck up on us. But I'll take that any day.
So I had never smoked it before. So my first experience is smoking a Micallef green, and I would say at the moment, if I'm ranking through the colors at this point, my favorites in no particular order, because it's usually which one I'm smoking at the time is my favorite, is black, red, and green. And I didn't think green was going to be in the top three, but and it's like those are the top three, and then everything else is, like a step or two below. Not that they're not good, just from a profile standpoint, I feel like those are similar in a sense, yet individually distinct all at the same time.
They are. So it's interesting that you like those. They are absolutely individually distinct, whereas within the color series, there's a lot of overlap of different tobaccos, but black, red, and green actually have very specific different flavor profiles where, blue and purple share some things, even red and purple share some things, but black, red, and green are each very, very different and meant to taste very different, but they are all on the more medium to full end of the spectrum. So it's, if you're a full-bodied smoker, and I know some of the other things that you like, you do sort of pull that direction. I'm not surprised that you like all three of them.
So let's get after it. There's a new color that has just been released. Micallef White is now out in Robusto and Toro Vitolas. So what can you tell us about this expression?
So a little bit the other end of the spectrum. So the idea behind white is to be on the lighter end of our cigars. We had actually we thought we were very clever. And when we brought out black in 22, we thought we would immediately follow it up with white, and that white would be our, sort of spring of 23 release. But we sort of started getting blends in from the factory, and we weren't very happy with them. And so we ended up holding the white release for, almost 3 years now, trying to make sure that we got something we were very, very happy with. We are ultimately very pleased, but it is definitely a cigar to appeal to sort of people who like a lighter cigar. It's a Connecticut wrapper. It has a broadleaf binder, which isn't something you see a lot in Connecticut. No. It's the same binder that's actually on the red, but takes the cigar in a very different direction. So there's still a lot of sort of meatiness and savoriness to it for being a light smoke, but it's still a much lighter smoke than you're going to find in your black, red, or green.
So when you are into the blends of white, you're receiving them in, it's not meeting expectation. Like how do you communicate to the cigar makers, blenders, what you're looking for? And then is there just so much time between the two families that you can say things, they can pick up on it and give you something that's close, and then you work on it from there?
So a little bit, it's not easy. I mean, in addition to, there's a couple things that are sort of that make it hard. You said time, and not necessarily even it just takes time, partly because the way, and a lot of people travel down to the factory and spend a lot of time boots on the ground in the factory. We do have somebody who does go back and forth, but Dan and I spend our time really in the United States. Alan goes back and forth, but there's still time between trips. So the process is slow in that they roll a bunch of samples, we bring them up, everybody smokes them. We give our feedback. He goes back because there's a language barrier and things. So we've just found it's easier in person. So he tends to wait to give really meaningful feedback till he goes back. Then they roll a bunch more and they come back and forth. So, he's back and forth 4 to 6 times a year. So none of this is happening very quickly. In addition to that, cigars don't come together very quickly. So even when they're rolling things, they send him up with them, and a lot of times we'll smoke things right when he gets to the United States, but we still lay him down for another month or two minimum and smoke him again before we really make a decision. I may have mentioned that, purple, for example, the first few times we smoked purple, we thought it was a terrible cigar. It was, we were 6+ months in before we actually smoked it and liked it. And actually it's one of my favorite blends. But the first time we smoked it, we were like, this is terrible. It's a cigar that needs a lot of time to come together. Black is the opposite of that. Black, you can pull a black off the table and it tends to smoke really well. So I think with white, it was partially just the process that took time, but also the hardest thing about rolling a great light-bodied cigar is to keep it light and approachable for everybody, but still have some complex flavors. And that's really what we kept working through, was that we would get cigars where we really liked the flavors, but we just felt like it was still too strong of a cigar, or the opposite. It was the lightness that we wanted, but it just smoked really flat, and you'd get halfway through the cigar and there was no dimension to it. And so it was just it was boring. And so it was trying to find some complexity while still keeping the cigar light. And that took a while.
Is that coming through whatever filler tobacco that you're using? Like, okay, it was not good this time. Let's change it out and use this.
Yeah. So what you're looking for is, a big driver of your taste, of course, is going to be the wrapper. And then and we knew we wanted a light cigar, which and we kind of knew it was probably going to be a Connecticut. So, I mean, that kind of pretty quickly defines. So you know what your wrapper is, and then you're playing with your binder and your filler tobaccos. So yeah, you're getting a lot of, your filler tobaccos are really akin to, your in your world, a dry rub or a marinade. It's the added flavors, but it's still not the main event, right? Your binder takes on a little bit more of a focus, but not as much as the wrapper. And so I think really for us, the thing that unlocked it was trying the broadleaf binder. We knew that we liked sort of the seasoning, if you will, in the filler, and we knew we liked the wrapper, but it was really about finding kind of what was going to bring it together. And we played with a lot of things, and it was actually Dan who suggested, let's try a broadleaf on this. And it really did change the whole thing. It just moved it into a really smooth space while kind of bringing all the flavors together in a way that was really coherent.
So Dave Garofalo has said that the Micallef White will quickly become the best-selling color in the unofficial color series that Micallef has.
Yes.
Do you agree or disagree?
Well, statistically speaking, it should. There are more light smokers than anything else, even though, a lot of the media and a lot of the big voices in cigars, like big, bold cigars. So it would be easy to think, oh, heavy or strong cigars is where that. But when you actually look at what sells volume wise, there are more people who smoke light. And we didn't really fit in that category. So it statistically should drive sales. And then he's a fan of it. So I think he's basically saying this is a great version of these light cigars. Therefore, I think it's going to take off. So, and I'll be honest, we're counting on it. Like we believe this will absolutely sell neck and neck, if not eventually pass Black Buy, which is still the best seller in this color series. But remarkably, all of the colors are closer together than you would think, or than I would have predicted when we started this. I've been surprised by how much there is parity between the different colors.
So if you weren't scaling up necessarily on the green because of Modafina, are you doing the exact reverse on a white?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We've been bringing in white we probably had them, the first ones rolled for close to a year. We've been bringing them in for the last 7 or 8 months.
Wow.
Just logistically, it's easier for us to bring in, a sort of a move it at full truckload from Esteli to Managua and bring those in. So we could go bigger shipments at once, but we kind of don't. But so yes, we've definitely been building up a great supply of white.
Are these only available still at Two Guys, or are they available nationally?
So they're shipping right now to stores all over the country, and they will be on sale nationwide on Friday.
On Friday, all right. Any other colors that are in this line, or are we tied up here?
No, so we've got orange will be the last in the color series, and orange will come out in September. It's also a Connecticut, but it's definitely more of a medium bodied, not your traditional Connecticut. And so that will be the last of sort of the colors in the color series. But at PCA in April, we're actually bringing out, so when you roll a cigar, you have these big leaves and you roll them into cigars, but you have trimmings. And so you end up with all these sort of odds and ends, it could, your burnt ends that, on, or your tenderloin tips, things like that, akin to that, to try to talk your language. And so we're actually bringing out a cigar in a Toro and a Gordo size that's what we call like a mixed fill cigar. It'll still have a wrapper that's long leaf, but the filler cigar will be a combination of long leaf and short ends, if you will. And but it's from all the colors. So it's kind of the leftovers of all these different color cigars will come together to make this Toro and this Gordo. So great tobacco, but a much more approachable. The Toro should retail for about $5. The Gordo should retail for about $6.60, bundled, not boxed, but just to kind of approach a totally different audience.
Let me ask a question about Connecticut wrappers. So I once fell for going off of color. Like, it looks light, it looks nice, and I smoked it, and all of a sudden, I thought I was going to get ready to pass out about 20 minutes in. It ended up being a Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I said, wow.
It's famous for doing that to people.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Is that just because of how it's made? And I guess the better question is, how do you know you're not going to potentially trick yourself into think you're getting a lighter cigar and you get one that kicks your ass?
So it's a great question, and color has very little to do with the strength of the cigar. People often mistake light cigars for being light in nicotine and dark cigars for being heavy. And a lot of times your darker cigars, your Maduros and stuff, will even have a sweetness to them that you don't get in your light. Yeah. So it's a very easy way to confuse yourself. Where a lot of the nicotine is actually driven from what's called Ligero. And the Ligero, and so you can't, and the Ligero is almost always in your filler. You can't tell by looking at the cigar how much Ligero is in it. You're going to have to really know about the blend or talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. The champagne is a notoriously high nicotine, not high spicy flavor or strong flavor, but high nicotine cigar. And so it has caught so many people out. But even, we were talking about it this weekend on Cigar Authority, that even though we tried to roll a very, very light cigar, a lot of people are saying the Robusto in the white, while light and approachable and you could still give to anybody, don't kid yourself. It's still, you're still going to get a nice nicotine buzz off of it. And again, it's the same thing. I mean, we've in order to, I said we wanted a complex flavor cigar, and some of those complex flavors are driving up the nicotine a little bit.
Something completely different. You have new sizes and colors that we already have come to know and love, specifically the black and the red, now available in a Gordo Vitola.
Yes.
So you've obviously done the market research. You've heard from customers that say they want a 6x60. How similar and how different are these compared to the Toro and Robusto version?
So the goal is to keep them really in line with the Toro side, right? Now, there's always a little nuance. In the Robusto, for instance, while the blends are exactly the same, you have 5 inches instead of 6 inches. And so you get to the strength or the sort of mid part faster. And so, we talk about how the Robusto is a little more front loaded. The Gordos, you want to try to step up into them and keep the blend as close as you possibly can. The trick, of course, is your ratio of filler to binder to wrapper is very, very different. And so it takes a lot of experimentation. In our case with black, especially being the fullest body cigar, we wanted to make sure that we brought that fullness forward to black. The first time, we have released the Gordos only through Two Goes right now by design for a set of reasons. And part of it was to make sure before we went to whole production volumes, we really felt like the audience was there for the Gordos. People were responding to how we did these new blends. We're not a factory that does gobs and gobs of Gordos. That's not been our traditional audience. And feedback I got this weekend is that we maybe got it did a really good job with the red. And not that the black isn't a great cigar and smoking great, but maybe we didn't bring enough of that strength forward in the black. And, so we'll keep tweaking it. But that's the nice thing about getting to work with a group like Two Guys and starting in the scheme of things with a relatively small production run, is that you can do it and play with it. And I think enough people at Two Guys and Cigar Authority, appreciate what we're doing and know that this is, sort of the beta, if you will, that we'll get good feedback, but not have no one's going to, we're not going to have an issue about the fact that maybe we're going to go back and tweak it a little more before we do the next run. So it's an experiment. We're all kind of learning together.
Do you see a time when all the colors are getting multiple Vitolas? You're going to see a Bellicoso and a Figurado and a blah, blah, blah.
No, I think we'll stop. I think, we are prepared to do Gordos in all the colors if there's demand for it. But I think that the color series will stop with 3 sizes, at least for everyday production. Maybe we special edition a size here or there. But part of why the color series works and why it works at the price point it is the sort of discipline of, these are the sizes, these are the boxes that we're getting. The boxes are all the same, and the uniformity and the economy of scale is what allows us to bring those cigars forward at the price that we do. And so as much as I know everybody wants their favorite size, if we did that, we would kind of break that economy of scale that we have.
Are you surprised to see a demand for a 6x60 cigar?
I mean, surprised only in that, yes, but it's there. So I mean, I'm not surprised anymore. But it is not. I'm even more surprised for these 880s and these crazy sizes we're getting. Ridiculous. But it's not. I mean, I think a lot of people smoke them because they think they want the value. People tend to bring Gordos out at a pretty aggressive price point. If you're bringing a Gordo out at sub $10, you are getting a lot of tobacco for not a lot of money. So I guess I can understand people's interest. For me, it's not my favorite smoking experience.
Yeah.
A blender it's never the size that they blend in, right? You tend to blend in even, you blend in 36, 32, 40 ring gauges and then size up from there. So for, the ratios are off to a blender. It's sort of not a cigar smoker cigar, but at some point you give the people what they want and people want them. There's no question about that.
Last question before I let you go and appreciate the time tonight. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that me as a consumer needs to know about, worry about, or be concerned with as it relates to tariffs right now in cigars?
I don't think so. I mean, everybody is watching them. If anything, the tariff maybe just got a little bit less in Nicaragua and possibly a tiny bit more in the Dominican Republic. I don't think we're going to see giant slingshotting tariffs around cigars. But it's a pretty fluid tariff market. There's no good guess either of like, oh, you should be stocking up on X because it's going to go up and Y isn't. It's too hard to say. Certainly, in tariffs aside, the geopolitical nature of Nicaragua is certainly more volatile than that of the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess if there's somewhere where you might think that there could ever be an issue, I would say Nicaragua over the Dominican Republic. But the reality is Nicaragua needs the cigar trade to continue. And so even if things get more volatile down there, I still think that they're going to protect the cigar trade. I think it would be too crippling. So I think it's a reasonably safe bet. But we keep an eye on it.
Do you have a contingency plan? Like if things meet a certain benchmark, plans. Do you believe?
We don't have a like, I don't have a secret factory in the Dominican Republic, but we certainly have we have talked about, and we are always talking about what we would do. It is why we do keep a lot of, our biggest contingency plan is we keep a lot of inventory in the United States. And, a lot of people don't, because it sucks up cash. You pay a federal cigar tax when things come into the country, so the more you keep here, the longer time it takes to turn the inventory, obviously. But for us, that's sort of the first and foremost. If we have enough inventory here, it gives us a lot of optionality if something should happen with where we want to go. Yep. And so that's the biggest way we manage it. And then meanwhile, always kind of have ideas in the back of our heads of what we would do.
The good news is the white is shipping out nationwide here, so they should be in brick and mortars this coming Friday. So if you have a Micallef retailer near you, visit and get a box or two, smoke them, let me know what you think, let Amanda know what you think, and we'll be excited to see the orange come down the pike too. So whenever you're ready to come back on and talk about anything with cigars, Amanda, I'd love to have you back.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
You got it. Amanda Micallef right there. I can't wait. The white is here, and I'm a fan. So, I mean, obviously, if you know anything about the lines, I skew a little bit more medium to full, but I have never said no to a great Connecticut wrapper. The broadleaf makes it a little bit more unique as well. So excited to get my hands on the white. Compare that to the rest of the line. Maybe I have 4 favorite cigars. Maybe that one takes over the lead. I mean, who knows? Indeed, I was intently listening. Amanda, traveling extensively, was up in New Hampshire for a live appearance on the Cigar Authorities podcast with Mr. J, of course. Ed Sullivan, Dave Garofalo, all the high swingers up there. And then back down to Texas, doing a spot here on this show a couple days later. So appreciate the insight and the announcement. Looking forward to trying out some of the Micallef whites. You should too. Again, will be available in retail stores. Should be hitting your retail stores this coming Friday. So only in a couple more days. So try them out. Let me know what you think. All right, we are going to come back and wrap this show up right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Let's get back to a guy who has more experience giving you his opinion than he actually has cooking. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Amanda Micallef for joining us last segment. MicallefCigars.com is the website, Micallef, MicallefCigars.com. Follow him socially at Micallef Cigars. And it's the white, and then if you're a fan of the red or the black color series cigars, which I am, the 6x60 is also available, but only at the number2guyscigars.com. So if you would like to get your hands on some Gordos of either the red or the black or both, then you need to head over to Two Guys in order to get them. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. All the way back in the first hour, there was a Malcolm Reed. There was also a Mike Lang visit, How to Barbecue Right, and Another Pint Please, respectively. Second hour, Sam the Cooking Guy, and closed it out with Amanda Micallef from Micallef Cigars. Big show planned for you next week. Meathead is going to be in next week, and I have all of the sound clips ready to go with people that have appeared on this show over the last number of weeks that believe bone adds flavor to meat and that they do not believe in the scientific testing that Meathead did showing that bone does not contribute flavor to the meat. Excited to get Meathead all riled up about that. Also, we have a Robert Moss segment, just to name a few. So, how do I always leave? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, Shamo! Shamo!
This is Marley Rempe, and you're listening to Barbecue Central.